You were born too late to explore the world and too early to explore space, but just on time to hear me talk about capybaras. Link to the new channel is in the description. Greetings, adventurers, and welcome back to the Den of the Drake. Other dragons hoard gold, while I hoard internet cringe. It's no secret that I despise Dungeon Master player characters with a passion. In my not-so-humble opinion, I think that whatever problems are solved by the inclusion of a DMPC can be easily solved by much more enjoyable devices. Oftentimes, we see DMPCs used as a contrivance in order to push whatever plans the DM might have. Some of these plans can be as innocent and irritating as keeping the party on a railroad, to downright creepy. Speaking of creepy, I'm sure you remember a few of the stories we've had where romances go really bad, like really bad. Why do I bring this up? Well, dear listener, it takes a special kind of degenerate to combine the two. Yes, dear listener, the DMPC is a tool of the DM to push their own desires to the forefront. And when in-game romance is involved, the implication is far from comforting. The story I have for you today stars a player who took a chance on playing with almost complete strangers, only to find out that their DM has a thing for thinking they are the main character and forcing gay relationships onto straight men. Yes, dear listener, I know what you're thinking. Based off that description, I too think that OP was unlucky enough to be playing D&D with James Charles. Now, without any further delay, let's go ahead and dive right into the horrifying world of r/RPG-Horrorstories. Enjoy. This week's story comes from a throwaway account and is titled DM Forces Romance Between DMPC and My Character. This was my first D&D 5e game with strangers. For years I've been playing with close friends, but schedules and busy lives sadly stopped our weekly games. The DM of that game mentions to me that they know another DM who is looking for players. I say that I'm interested, and he hooks us up and I join the game. The DM of this game is female. I am a straight male, and so is my cleric character. The only other player is a min-maxer straight female playing a female hexblade paladin with polearm sentinel. The genders will be important later. So the DM told us that since the party is so small, she will be adding an NPC who will help us out here and there. That NPC turned out to be a male DMPC rogue who is always 2 levels above us plus magic items. They don't just help here and there, no. They straight up take the spotlight, often being the one dealing the final blow against bosses. But more on that later. I need to mention that nearly all the NPCs are male, some of which have romantic relationships with each other. Literally, the only female NPCs are the villains, usually the seductress or femme fatale types. So we get around 2 sessions in, and immediately I do not like the DMPC. The DM always inserts the DMPC in every scene with my character. I notice that it's difficult for my cleric to bond with the min-maxer because every time I try to RP with her, the DMPC butts in. The first instance where it becomes a big problem is when we are fighting one of the main villainesses. She was hiding behind hostages, but we end up pummeling her and kicking her ass pretty good. Mostly thanks to the min-maxer's absurd crits. We told the DMPC to go help the hostages instead while we handled the villainess. The DMPC argues against it. Sometimes it feels like the DM herself is arguing against us, telling us that it's a bad idea. After a bit of back and forth, we finally got the DMPC to leave combat and help the hostages. Finally, a combat where someone else deals the final blow. Oh wait, never mind, I'm down. Yep. The moment the DMPC leaves, the villainess one-shots me. The DM excitedly says, "Bet someone was wishing the DMPC was here right now." That ticked me off a bit, but whatevs. Min-maxer will fix this. The min-maxer goes up and uses up all their smites, deals absurd amount of damage, and the villainess somehow survives and paralyzes the min-maxer. No saves, just 1 hit and bam, paralyzed. With both PCs out of commission, the DM describes how the villainess was about to finish me off as she's about to step on my head. Then a bit of silence as she plays some heroic music and proceeds to describe how the DMPC just came right on time to rescue me, and how he was so angry and furious that he let me go down on his watch, blah blah blah. The villainess got scared shitless and tried to seduce him, but he says that there's only one person he loves, blah blah blah. Yeah, the DMPC then one-shots the villainess. When both me and the min-maxer recovered, the DMPC proceeds to scold us about how we are too weak and how we are reckless. The DM was also very obviously trying to hint that he is being harsh because he cares. Yeah, no, I don't care. I was planning to leave, but I didn't, and that's because of min-maxer. After the DMPC leaves the scene for the first time, DM expected me to go after them and console them. My character and the min-maxer finally got to roleplay together meaningfully. We bonded over our near-death experience, and her character was a lot of fun and very sweet. The DM inserted a scene where she describes how the savior of the day ends up alone and ends the session. I spoke to the DM about it and told her that I feel as though this rogue of hers is a DMPC. The DM then said, "Oh, don't you worry, the rogue will only be around for one arc." I worry, but whatever. The roleplay with min-maxer was enough for me to give this another session. I at least have something to look forward to. Come the next session, the DMPC is now flirting with my character. No build-up to it, just randomly decides to be flirty. He is also kinda mean to min-maxer. Every time she speaks, he acts like she's being dumb. And the DM just makes things happen narratively to prove that she is indeed being dumb. We got into a fight with another villainess, a character from my backstory who was not supposed to be evil. It was my aunt who was also my mentor. Naturally, my character would want to speak with them and try to understand what's going on and would not want to throw hands right away. The DMPC, on the other hand, wants to kill her. He had this whole speech about love and choosing who you love, and I'm like, that has nothing to do with why I want to talk to my aunt. Half of it was the DM herself explaining things and giving me meta-knowledge to prove that my aunt is now pure evil, and even puts Satan to shame. The aunt nearly one-shots me, which comes with a stun that has a ridiculous save DC for our level. The DMPC was going to slay her, but the min-maxer tries to intervene as she wants to non-lethally take down my aunt for my sake. But the DM wasn't having any of it. Even when my aunt was down, the DMPC executes her. This, of course, enraged my character. The DMPC says that I'm ungrateful and that he just saved my life. The DM also says that out of character. The DMPC stormed off once again, expecting me to go after them, but of course, I don't. Once again, min-maxer got space to roleplay with me. She consoled my character, and it led to a very bittersweet, wholesome moment. We both even saw potential development towards a romance in the future, and she jokingly says, "Yeah, ship it." At this moment, the DM just straight up tells me that my character feels an overwhelming guilt in his heart. I told her, no, that's not how my character feels right now. So she gets the DMPC to come to me instead, and that he looks so heartbroken and hurt by me. F if I care. But apparently my character does care, as the DM describes how my character feels tight in his chest seeing the DMPC like this. I cut her off and say, "Stop controlling my character, this is messed up." Poor choice of words on my part, because now she's accusing me of being homophobic and told me that I should be more open to guy-on-guy relationships. Specifically, guy-on-guy. She doesn't even say gay relationships. Ding ding ding, there it is. Even if we didn't already know from the title of the story, even the smoothest of smooth brains could have figured out where this was going. Hot take. Women that do this are just as gross as guys who fetishize lesbians. I said what I said. This is a peak example of a DM who didn't want a DM. She just wanted to write real-time smut with a captive audience. Let's break down everything that's gone wrong up until this point, shall we? First, I get making most of the big characters in your world mostly the same gender because I do the same thing. Most important NPCs in my games are guys because I'm a guy. It's easier for me to make character moments more impactful when I'm not trying to put on an awkward falsetto. Plus, I'm an awkward nerd who doesn't know how women work, but still. But I have a sneaking suspicion that this wasn't the reason that the DM made all the villains female. She might be projecting a bit there, but I don't have any proof of that yet. Secondly, if you're designing counters with the express purpose of being unbeatable by your party, you've already failed as a DM. Look, impossible encounters are not bad on their own. They can be used pretty effectively to establish a serious threat to the players. But you gotta give them an out that the players can take. It's not an opportunity to show off how cool one of your OCs are. It's an opportunity to show how creative the players can get when it comes to avoiding an unwinnable conflict. Now on to the elephant in the room. Romance is already a very delicate thing when the players are the ones initiating it. It is never okay for a DM to say, "Hey, look, you love this character now." What the f***? No, that's not how it works. Now that's already bad enough. But then the DM has the gall to hide behind the tried and true, "You're homophobic if you don't let me do whatever I want." As if she's not the one literally reducing an entire group of people, who already have enough problems to deal with by the way, down to a rather problematic way of getting her rocks off. Yeah, I'm so pissed off that I just unironically used the word problematic and I only have a slightly bad taste in my mouth. At this point, I'm done. The line between me and my character starts to blur, and I did some immature things. I angrily ask the DMPC what they want. The DMPC tries to tell me to snap out of it, and I'm like, what? The DMPC proceeds to accuse my character of being seduced by the villainess, who was my aunt. Both in and out of character, I just want to attack the DMPC for saying such shit. So I told the DM I cast Guiding Bolt on the DMPC. The DM straight up tells me that I need to roll a wisdom save to be able to attack someone that I love. What the f***? Know what? I'm not even gonna argue it. I'll roll that save and continue my attack. Being a cleric, I have a good wisdom, so I saved. I hit the DMPC, who is then described to unleash a frightening aura and approaches my character. But he gets stopped dead in his tracks by the Min-Maxer's Polearm Master Sentinel combo. It was glorious how Min-Maxer interrupts the DM describing the DMPC being all edgy. The DM tries to argue that it's out of character for Min-Maxer, and that this would break her oath because my character is the one who attacked first. Min-Maxer argues well enough that it is in their character and won't break their oath. So the attack happens, but it misses as the DM randomly gave the DMPC the ability to parry as a reaction, which they never had before. I point out that the Min-Maxer gets to attack with advantage due to my Guiding Bolt. So the Min-Maxer rolls again and rolls higher than the DMPC's AC plus parry. So yeah, he gets stopped, but no, the DM says that we can't do that yet, and we must roll initiative first. We try to argue that it was a reaction, but the DM won't budge. Fine. Being a rogue, the DMPC had the highest dex, so he rolls the highest. He proceeds to approach my character. The Min-Maxer tries to use their reaction, but the DM says they can't, because initiative started with the DMPC already in Min-Maxer's reach, and thus did not enter her reach. Bullshit. So yeah, the DMPC gave their speech about love and betrayal and downed me instantly, which allows the Min-Maxer to use their Sentinel reaction as the DM made an attack. It misses, but she points out that Guiding Bolt is still active, which even I forgot. So she rolls again, and crits. The DMPC barely survives with uncanny dodge. On the Min-Maxer's turn, she proceeds to one-turn the DMPC. Even with his 2 levels advantage and magic items, he goes down and Min-Maxer goes for the kill. DM can't even lie about his HP because we know how much HP he has. As the DM always says, "It's funny how the rogue has this much more HP than the paladin, ha?" Well, duh, they're 2 levels higher. So yes, the DMPC is just dead. The DM then leaves mid-call without saying a word. Last I heard, DM talked to my previous DM, trying to paint me and the Min-Maxer as misogynist assholes. Well, there's always 2 sides to the story, I suppose. End of story. Hey, Hey, wouldn't you know it, I called it on the projecting misogyny thing. Isn't it funny how the people who are the quickest to throw around words like homophobic or misogynist tend to be those things themselves? Because what I'm seeing here is a DM who went out of their way to villainize women and bully an actual woman at their table, all for the sake of fetishizing the love lives of gay men. Yeah, gross. Really, really gross. But I will give the DM props for letting their uber rogue die in such a lame way. Most DMs who are married to their DMPCs would have pulled some Deus Ex Machina out of their ass to save them from those mean player bullies, but no, she just let him die the same way he lived. Unwanted and unloved. So I guess props to her for that. But at the same time, if I were to put a single sprinkle onto a pile of dog crap, I wouldn't go calling myself the next Gordon Ramsay, now would I? Now on that flavorful note, we have a fan art submission this week. That's right, how about we take a look at this week's Gallery of the Drake? This week's fan art comes from viewer Stardust Strix, who depicts the Drake chilling with God's chosen rodent. For those of you who don't know, I've started a new channel called Happy Bara that I've been sinking a ton of time and effort into. Outside of RPGs, my real passion is in science education, and as evidenced by this piece of fan art, it's been quite well received by you guys. So, thanks for that. I just finished recording the audio for episode 2, so be sure to subscribe to Happy Bara so you don't miss it. And here we come to our next exhibit, the Capybara. Yeah, you with the weird looking face.
What is that big red thing?
Oh, that's a whole ass dragon that just showed up one day.
Why is it with the capybaras?
Oh, I'm sorry. Would you like to be the one that tells the flying dinosaur that breathes napalm that it can't hang out with coconut dogs? Yeah, I didn't think so, you little turd. Thank you again, Stardust Strix, for submitting your art. If you'd like to see your fan art featured in Gallery of the Drake, be sure to send it to the email in my About section. Fan art is my favorite part of doing YouTube, and it means the world to me that I can inspire artists like you to create artwork like this. With the story over and artwork displayed, we're gonna go ahead and wrap up. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you feel like supporting the channel further, my Patreon and merchandise links are in the description. I would like to thank you all for listening, and I hope to see you next time in the Den of the Drake.